Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. Now, I do these videos freeform and improv. I don't really need a script. I already know what I'm going to do in general. So, how would I know that this is an excellent video? Well, because in my brain, it looks excellent to me. No, I'm just joking. But the thing is, there's something I was looking at or looking for that I did not see. And I gave you a little bit of this, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go through my own personal tanks and give you my impressions of things that might be more successful for you, which is why the title is How to Score Points in the Dream Machine's Operation. Because there are people out there who are going to be capable of scoring a substantial amount of points, but they're going to need help figuring out how to do it for them. So now I can't do this for every person, obviously, but what I can do is give you some templates for you to follow. And I'm going to go through my tanks that I have, and whenever I see a tank that's going to offer you a potential strategy that I see to do this, I'm going to point this out, and maybe this is going to help some of you because you need to see something that might ring a bell, because not everybody has the experience and the knowledge to generate a strategy quickly like I have. And that's one of the things that, we do in human nature. We tend to assume that a lot of people understand some of the things that we do on a daily basis, which is really not the case. Now, a lot of it will be understood, but not all of it. And some of it needs to be explained. And when you're a good explainer of concepts, then you can make these concepts easy for someone to understand in 30 seconds or less. And that's one of the things that I do. So this is the goal of this video. I hope it isn't too long. I don't know, because I don't plan these out, because that would take extra time. And that's just, if I started planning these out meticulously, which I could do, well, then I could only make half or less the amount of videos that I make, and that's less help that I'm giving to other people. So let's get on to the business. But first, please leave a like for this video. It's going to be very important to help other people find this video and then learn what you guys are learning right now. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have subscribed, then you guys know that you're awesome and you're really helping me out a lot. And thank you so much for that. Now, I'm going to impart upon to you my concept, and we'll see if it works, all right? All right, we're going to start here with what I mentioned to you. If you're a recurring visitor and viewer, you'll understand this already. But if you're new to this, this will help you. Now, my personal plan starts right here, Sexton 3 Artillery. This operation allows you to use tier 3s and up, all right? Now, for myself, I've already long ago figured out the fastest way for me to score points in operations, if I'm allowed to do so, will be to be running tier 3 missions. Why is that? They last the shortest amount of time. And there's the greatest potential in scoring to hit MVP status on a repeat basis. It's quite crazy, actually. Now, I have another one that's really high as well, and I mean much higher than average. But it's actually in Cold War, but I'll get to that at the end. We're going to do World War II first. This is longer, take a little bit longer as well. So, the number one thing you need to look for when you're trying to score points for this operation: tanks where you're known to score MVPs, preferably more than one. So if you're not a great artillery player, then I don't recommend you using artillery. It's just that simple. I want you to look at things where you have a record of success. I am an artillery specialist, so I have a record of success and then some in artillery. So this is great for me, maybe not for you. The other thing you need to look at is how fast do the matches where you score, how long are they lasting? Maybe you're great in, I don't know, tier 7 mediums. That's good. Go and do that. And then look at the time elapsed. How many of those great results in a tier 7 medium can you get in an hour? It's just that simple. If the answer is 1, I think you need to go somewhere else. Because I was rolling this one, my Sexton Artillery tier 3, and I asked my friend, I was like, well, what are you doing? He goes, well, he was doing something. He was actually doing a Thresher, which is a tier 3 mercenary tank. He said, now, he wasn't bragging or being disingenuous. He's like, well, he had just played 4 maps before I asked that question and gotten 3 MVPs and then a second or a third place, whichever one. So he scored 3 points. He scored 3 5 points and a 3 point. And I said, yeah, that's one of the ones I was wanting to do, but I was working on what I do in my artilleries. As I'm doing this, I'm doing more than one thing at a time. I was doing long hauls. I finished those. I knocked those out one Tuesday, one Wednesday. And I was working on commander skills. As you can see, the last game I played, I had unlocked the commander skill number 4 for this artillery. So I'm doing multiple things at one time, and I said, okay, let me switch off to take a break. And that was my plan, was to have a 2-pronged attack of artillery and Thresher. And I went to Thresher, played a bunch of matches, and in 5 or 6 or whatever it was, and in that streak of 5 or 6, I also had 3 MVPs and a second and a third in sequence. So I replicated what he did, and I concluded that, objectively speaking, per hour, my number 1 scoring machine is the Thresher. This is really number 2, but I want to vary it and play some different things, and that's why I have a lot of points in this operation. Let me show you. All right, this is day number 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is Friday. I haven't played any matches on Friday yet. This is in the morning. So after 3 days, I ran a test. If you missed the test, well, it's okay. I'll tell you what the test was. The test was, I bought this package with the ×3 and ×2 tank experience boosters to see if I'd still be able to buy multiples. And yes, the answer is I can buy as many of these as I want. I don't want these, really. I want this ×4 commanders. That's what I like. All right? So I have, after 3 days, and I bought one item that was, 40? So I made 600 in 3 days, which is, my friend Fish said 200 a day would be a terrific standard, which I matched the 200 a day for 3 days, no problem. That's not a brag. That is just a demonstration of the execution of the plan that was created. So now let's go back and look at the artillery. So for me, artillery is great. My other killer will be the Thresher. I'll get that one for you. Now the main thing is, you may not have, in fact, you probably won't have all the tanks that I have. It doesn't really matter. It'll be inconvenient for some of the ones that are really good, like the Thresher, if you don't have it. But I'm going to help you figure out what to do with whatever you're using. Now, the thing that you should notice right off the bat, but if you don't, that's why I'm here, that I use 3-star commanders in these, because the logic is you're going to be pounding a bunch of these different tanks, whatever they are. And I'm pounding those, generating tons of commander experience while we're going through this. The Thresher commander started off with 3 skills, and I've added 2 in this process during the whole thing, and I'm going to do more. And what I do periodically is I'll swap out, like the 5 on the commander here, maybe for another 3, and just build a 3 up to a 5. It just depends what I feel like doing on that particular day. But if you have the 5 and you want to build it to a 6 or a 7, by all means go for it, because you want to do multiple things. And if you have not completed your long hauls, they'll complete themselves while you're working on this challenge, because this challenge is similar to a long haul, but a little bit more refined, because you have to finish top 5 on your team, not top 7. But every time you finish top 5, you also finish top 7. So you can do Dream Machine and long haul at the same time, getting double credit, 1 for each. You can also build commander skills. If you're going to use a tech tree tank, which I don't use myself, but it's not about me, it's about you. If you have a great tech tree tank you're going to use, you can work on advancing through that tech tree if you want to do that. It's up to you. It could slow down your hourly progress. That is the thing you have to keep your eyes open for. So I don't do that. I don't recommend that you necessarily do that. But if it works for you, I say go for it. And that's the thing. You want to find what works for you, not what works for anybody else. And not what you should, superstar player says do this. Well, guess what? I don't care what he says. That's great for him. You got to do what works for you. Trying to copy somebody that you're not going to be able to copy is self-defeating. So get out there and kick butt in whatever you can kick butt in. Hey, maybe it's a tier 8 heavy tank. If it works for you, that's what I'm saying. Do what works for you, because you really want to work. Hopefully, I would say a reasonable goal for success. Try to get 20 points an hour. 15 points an hour would be, I would say, let me think about this for a second. I would say 15 points an hour is a really solid number. If you can do 15 points an hour in something you enjoy, then it doesn't feel like you're killing yourself. That's the key. Now, if you're a better player on a specific tank, you might be able to do 20 points, 25 or more. But don't feel bad if all you can do is 12. You may not have tanks that are just absolute killers for this operation. And there are some. The Thresher is a killer if you can play Thresher well. And if you have one, and if you don't have one, you can't buy it. It's a contract tank. You can only get it from a contract, and that contract is not available. So that's the thing. There's stuff going on. Now, let's look at, I'm just going to cycle through tanks so you can see tanks. And I'm going to go fast, and we're going to go yes and no. And if I feel that there's a specific strategy, I'll stop on that tank, and then we'll continue. But let me clear out. There we go. Let's just go with what we got. Start at the Thresher, and I'm just going to scroll to the right, which means we're going to start on Mercenaries. This one's awesome. No, no, no. Probably not. Very good. Tier 6 could be good. No. Heck no. Oh, heck to the super no. No, 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 no. Maybe a needle is good. It depends on the player, man. If you're good, it could be good. Same thing with the Absolution. This could be a really good scoring tank for some of you. No, no, probably not. Even though the Banana Buster is good, it's very slow. Now we're into Americans. No, it's a tier 2. So forget about it. No, these are all tier 2s. Man, you know what? I'm not going to do this. This is stupid. Let me go 3s and above. I'm going to take those 2s right out of the equation. Goodbye. Locust, maybe. Tier 3. Possible. No. Yeah, well, maybe possible. To me, no. But if you're good in this tank, it could be good. Maybe. Tier 8. So I'm going to say tier 8's all, no, but it's always going to be specific to you. I wouldn't do it. No, no. Maybe it can be very powerful. No. Probably not. Maybe. 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 Probably not. No. No, even though I love the freedom. No. 10, heck no. Maybe. And now some of these maybes you're going to see are like this one. Let me show you what we have here. The reason this one is a maybe. Tier 5. Silver bonus 162. It's going to make a lot of money. Tank experience bonus also good. So it's one of those that if you have a T14 heavy, and there's other tanks that fit this, like the Ram 2 is another one. It's very subjective. Someone could say, you know, I used that tier 14 and I scored, 15 an hour. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So that's, it's going to be very hit and miss. No, no. Probably not, but this tank is super fast, so it could do it. No, maybe. Maybe. Top scoring for me, so it's a super yes for me. No, no, no. Super fast tank, maybe. In fact, it's probably better than maybe. It's probably a good scorer, but you're going to have some matches that last long, so you got to, if you're ever going to test it for a whole hour. So you're going to have some slow matches and some fast ones, and just to see what the average is. This is how you do it to figure it out. No, no, no. Well, that's a maybe. No. I'd say maybe, but probably not. No, no, no. Great tank, but no. Same exact tank without the cosmetics. Maybe. Very good. Also good. I don't use it because I like the American one better. That's just me. Panzer 1C, very good scoring tank. In the right hands, this one would be an elite scorer if you're really good in a Panzer 1C. So in the Panzer 1C, the gun to get is the middle gun. All right, that's the better gun. So turret upgrade. So if you don't have it upgraded, get this one and you can upgrade it and do that very strong scoring tank for certain players if you can handle the light tanks. Another good opportunity, Panzer 2J. I'd say no. I haven't run this tank, but it's a tier 7, so I'm thinking the answer is probably not. No, even though these are all great scoring tanks, they just take too long. And the tier 8s are going to face tier 9s and 10s. It's not good. This is a maybe. Panzer S-35 is a maybe tank, just like that Somua. This is another maybe. Very fast tank, another maybe. Maybe. Probably not, but in the right hands, it's a great scoring tank. So the Panzer V-4 in the hands of a really skilled player in this tank, he's going to score higher on average, and the amount of high scoring that he can do will offset the fewer matches per hour. So there's a potential efficiency of scoring per match in this tank that would turn what would otherwise be a no into a yes. So if you're good enough in a Panzer V-4, you could get it. That's why I say it's maybe. Because some of those guys are going to score top 7 almost every game in this tank. That's just one of those tanks. It does have the ability to score. And if you score in that tank, then it's a yes. I don't score well enough in it, so for myself, no. But I see the possibility. This is another good one. But it's a 7, you're like, But the M10 is a 7 tier preferential. It only plays up to 8s. It doesn't play 9s. So that's good. It does help. Probably not. No. Panzer B2 caps at 4s. It never faces 5s. So a decent scoring tank. Now, for a player who's not as good overall, they might gain a boost due to its heavy armor, and they might be able to score better for them than relative to their other tanks. So it's going to really depend. If you're not a great scoring player, a Panzer B2 might help you. It might let you last long enough to score enough. I mean, there are some lower skilled, lower experienced players. Okay, I don't want to say that you're a bad player, but you have lower experience, and a Panzer B2 might allow you to survive long enough to actually score. And so those beginners / lower experienced players may be able to get 10 points an hour with a Panzer B2. Now that's not stellar, but it beats the heck out of 0, doesn't it? Or 5. Captured KV-1, really possible tank. Citadel Tiger, that's a possible. Probably not. Probably not. The Tiger went through them, even though I like those. Icebreakers, definitely no. It's slower than dirt. Martyr 38T, fantastic sniping tank. You could score once again. You could score high enough in the matches that you play to offset the slightly slower length of time. So your points per hour could exceed 15 in this tank, which would make it a good choice. Hetzer, again, the amount of games per hour is a problem. It tends to be a little bit slower in the scoring. I made a video yesterday where I put this together, went out and got an MVP in game 1. That's not the norm, okay? It's a really good one, okay? And if you haven't seen it and don't know, the Hetzer has 3 guns, and like the Panzer 1C, the selected gun for whipping the butt is the middle gun. This is a 105 millimeter, or as they say, 10.5 centimeters. It's exactly the same measurement. But this is a one-shot gun. It'll kill guys in one shot. Check out my video that I made yesterday. I one-shot multiple guys in that video. You can see for yourself that it could be a vicious score in the right hands. No. Heck no. Super slow. Good scoring tank, but you can't run enough matches per hour to score enough to make it worth your while, in my opinion. It's a possible. possible, possible. Probably not, but possible. Probably not. Barask, too slow. It's a fast tank, but the scoring takes a long time. It's a 2-shot autoloader. It's not conducive, and it plays at the 10s. You don't want to play an 8. I mean, I would really not want to touch an 8. That's just me personal. So stay with 7s and below, and the lower the better in general. No, heck no. Slower than dirt, highly unlikely that this Tier 3 Pack 40 is useful. Again, you might be a master of this tank and makes it good, and I say more power to you. I'm just giving you the generals. No. Artillery is almost always no. There's a few exceptions. The Tier 3s and 4s will be the exceptions. Maybe. Very good, better than just maybe. It's like maybe plus. The T127 is like a junior Thresher. It's not as good as a Thresher, but it's like the little brother. It's very effective. Probably not. Maybe. It's a maybe. It's got a strong gun. If you know what you're doing, you can crush people quickly. It's possible. 832, this is the same tank. This is the Honor Cosmetic. This is the same exact tank without the paint. 832, this is a better than maybe. This would be a maybe plus. Or actually probably would be a great choice because this tank, as you can see, rolls at 80. It's a medium, so it has advanced armor. So what it acts like is like a tougher light tank. It plays like a light tank, but has medium armor, low-grade medium armor, so it's harder to kill than your regular light tank. So this tank would be a definite contender for someone who doesn't have something that's just awesome. So the A32 is not inexpensive. Tier 4, I think this tank is less than 2,000 gold. Check that. I can't see it. When you own a premium, you can't look at the price because it's hidden. Fighting Girlfriend. Maybe. I would say probably not, but this is the T-34-88, man, and that gun is awesome. So this one is actually a maybe, and if you're a good medium player, it goes from maybe to probably good. You know, it's a tank where it's the all-around ability of this tank. It's also a commander bonus tank. So that's a 3-star commander with the bonus. This thing will make you some commander points. So could be enough of an incentive for you to work that one. I would say these are inferior versions. So no. Good tank, though. Good tank, no. This is one of the probably... I saw a guy, he mentioned this tank as a strategy. The Churchill 3 is a monster beast. Now, its advantage is that you can score, and dude, I mean score in this tank per game if you're a good player. I didn't say great, I said good. It's strong and it will withstand, but it's going to be slower. You're going to get fewer matches, 6 to 8 an hour. Now, it's so strong you could score well enough in those 6 to 8 matches to offset the lack of playing 10 matches an hour. All right? This tank is a really good tank on top of that. Fast-firing gun, strong armor, not very fast, but 58% silver bonus, so it makes you money, and 78% tank experience. So if you're working on a contract, oh man, this is a double or triple scorer. This tank is so good that I had a match in this tank where I was awesome. My team was not good. My team lost, but I was the overall MVP of the match from a losing team. That's how good this tank is. Cheapo tank, less than 2,000 gold. So highly recommend this for contracts, and operation scorings, and this is another operation where it could score. I probably should play some of these matches in this tank to show you what I did. That would be a good video, actually, and this will help determine if this is a go or no go. No, 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 no. Maybe. The snipers are all going to be maybes to a degree, all right? But, seven starting to get into the no situation, because you'll score maybe. If you're great at sniping, you could score and offset the number of matches with higher scoring possible. But tier 8, forget about it. Just don't even waste your time. Artillery, SU-5, probably not, but it's a maybe. So this advanced high-level artillery, absolutely not. Probably not, but it's subjective, maybe. I don't want to use 8s. I mean, look at that 8. Plays up to tier 10. You're asking to not score if that's what you want to play. And I'm a terrific light tank player, and I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole on this operation. And I've won games in that tank, so maybe. Probably not. It's an 8. No. Although this is tier preferential. So now here's the thing. Some of these tanks you might be good at, and you might want to play just one game here and there for a break, but still could score. Absolutely a great idea. Mix it up. Make it fun. If this will make it fun for you, this tank could score very well because it's a very good tank and tier preferential. You do not play tier 10s in this tank. So that's another element of the strategy that you can use. Mix it up, play some things that, will just be different but good for you. And that's the thing, it has to be good for you. If you have that. I haven't even played this tank. I mean, it's possible. This is possible. Maybe. No. No. The Poodle is basically the same tank as the Britannia Panther, but the Britannia Panther, the French one, is better. It's got better hit points or something. It's slightly better than this, but they're like brothers, okay, or cousins. They're almost identical, but they're just slightly not identical. If you have a choice between the Poodle or the Britannia Panther, I'd use the Britannia. But if you don't have the Britannia, the Poodle is good. So it's not that the Poodle is bad. There's just a slightly better version. No. Okay, now we've gone through all the World War II candidates, which is awesome. Now we're going to switch to Cold War. I know that's going to sound weird, but trust me, I'll explain it. Okay, now we're going to look at the Cold War tanks. And now the Cold War tanks go against the general plan of playing lower tier to get more matches per hour. But I'm going to show you something that you have to know. Because if you're one of these guys, then you've just jackpotted like me. I could run this entire operation in Cold War if I wanted to and make a lot of points and a ton of cash. But it won't be quite as efficient, but it will be good. My friend Top is a tremendous Cold War player in every tank he plays. So he decided to start doing light tanks because he was watching me and learning from me, just like I learned how to play heavy tanks from him. So what you see here, there's Top, number 2. There's me, number 5. We were tearing it up the last couple of days in Cold War matches with these FV-101 light tanks. They're vicious monsters. This is one game. I have another one left on my profile log of 10 games. I'll show you. So, terrific. This is a mix-up game. We're just mixing it up, keeping it fun. I already done most of my scoring. He scored second place. That's a 3-point score. I got 5th place. That's a 1-point score. But it's also long haul stuff, which is very good. Now, this is a match that we won. Playing FV-4211s. Another mix-it-up game. And Top is one of the best I've ever seen in the 4211. So I learned how to play it from him. So here's what we did there. Top, MVP, 5 points. Me, 3 points in third place. Hey, great fun, good scoring. What was that money again? That was a low-scoring money game, 63,000. That one was finished. That game was finished by a capture of the base, not we didn't kill them all. Otherwise, we'd have made more money. So this is a quote-unquote bad money game for this tank for me. Now you know why. When he shows up, he goes, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh heck yes, we're going to go." We're very successful. You know, we did 2 streaks. Last week we had an 8-win streak during the string theory medals. We got 5 string theory medals in one session with 8 consecutive victories. We weren't even trying to specifically do string theory. We were just playing the game to win and score, points, etc. Just for fun, basically. 2 nights ago, another 8-game winning streak in Cold War in Dream Machines operations. So if you're a terrific Cold War tank player of any of the tanks, yes, what is this? This one was a less than 4-minute victory. Let me see the other one. This one was a less than 6-minute loss, but it was a good match. So that's not a bad thing. So, like I said, if you can score like we can score top 5s in Cold War, then it becomes a legitimate option for you. But that's going to be, vary on your skill. All right, let's run through the dealio. We're going to start at the FV101. Yes. Now this is for only people who have the skills to run and score. So this could be a complete no if you're a lower grade player, or lower experience. I don't want to be insulting, but if you don't have the skills to do what we're doing in these tanks, I'm going to say yes or maybes. For the specific person, it's a no all the way across the board. So Cold War may not be for you, but if you're good in Cold War and you know if you are or not, yes. Not as good as the 101 for scoring. The games will last longer. This is a slow killing machine. Armadillo, yes. Scorpion 90, yes. RDFLT, yes. TCM AGS, possible. It's going to be hit and miss. This is another starter tank. Anyone can get this tank for free. It's just going to cost you a couple million to equip it. All right? This is a free tank. And it's good. That's a black star on the barrel. That is a mark of excellence. It works for me, man. That's all I can say. This one is a maybe. This is another mark of excellence on the barrel. It's a stripe. So this is another maybe. This is another maybe. Maybe Leopard 1A1. That one I think is actually in the store right now. It's a maybe. It's not great, but it's very good. It depends. If the better you are at mediums, the better it is. So this is another probably not, but maybe. This one was a definite. This was the tank that we scored. My bad score was 63,000 silver. This tank is a yes. This tank is also a maybe. This is a maybe. The Weasel is a yes for some people. For me, I don't score well enough on average, so I say for me, no. Thumper tank is a longer scoring game, so I say no on this one, but possible. Light tank, possible. Low end free starter tank, so it's another maybe. WZ-122 has rockets, another maybe. It's just going to depend on your skills, man. M50 Sherman, another free tank, another mark of excellence. This is a really good tank once you get it upgraded. And so you have to go through all the upgrades There's a second gun. It costs 1.1 million and is worth buying. That Centurion that I showed you has a 1.9 million gun. I have not bought that. So upgrade. That's a turret upgrade. Engine upgrade, of course. Suspension, of course, and radio. But if you know, on the Sherman, when you get the $1.1 million gun, million silver, but it just sounds better when I say it, $1 million gun. It's really good. This is a solid scoring tank. This is in the maybe. And like I said, the better you are at mediums, the better it's going to score for you. Maybe, probably not. But if you're an ace sniper, and this, you know, and that's the thing. This is an average sniper. Solid. Nothing super special, in my opinion. But if it's special to you, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what someone else thinks of it. It matters what can you do with it yourself. A lot of people don't like these light tanks. We're absolute marauders. We just go and terrorize people in these tanks because that's our skills. So this is the thing. Hopefully I've given you some kind of help in framing what you should be using. You know, I'll just say it again. Generally lower tiers. But the thing that really rises to the top of the template is you've got to know what scores for you. Now, if you don't have a lot of awesome tanks, that's another, you know, kind of a problem. If you're a lower experienced player, what I would recommend, let's go and back to World War II. Let me just do this.